Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing through an older game called Aventuria, the adventure card game. This is a game by Ulisses Spiele. It is a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 45 minutes to an hour and a half to play. It can be played a couple of different ways. You can play competitively, where you're going to be competing with another hero, dueling with them and trying to be the last person standing. Or you can play fully cooperatively, where you're going to be playing through a scenario and trying to work together as a team to take down the enemies and the leader that you're facing in that scenario. Now, this game is actually going back to Kickstarter. This was one that came out a while ago and has done very well, and they've had a number of expansions for it, but now they're going back to Kickstarter to add 2 new expansions to this one. The first one is going to allow you to take your heroes to legendary status, adding all kinds of new, really powerful cards to your heroes to really bump them up into that status. The second expansion is really going to focus on the cooperative campaign and adding all kinds of new features to that. So as you're going to see in this, I'm going to be playing through, like I said, the very first scenario in this. So there's a little bit of narrative beforehand and a couple little choices that I'll make before getting into the battle mode, which is what you see laid out here. In the expansion, they sent me a little cheat sheet on that to take a look at what the scenarios are going to look like in the future, and they are massively bigger. There's tons of stuff. They are going to have the same scenario, so the one that I'm going to be taking you through here, but there's going to be a ton of more stuff included with it, having you make all kinds of different choices and different pathways you can take, different tests you're going to have to perform, and all kinds of different things leading up to that final battle. So there's going to be a ton more included in that expansion, as well as all kinds of new cards that'll help you increase your heroes, getting all kinds of different items and being able to bump up your decks and all that, and be able to give you more customization with your heroes, as this is a deck builder in a way as well. So once you are familiar with your hero, you can actually tailor their deck to a different play style. So if you want to include different cards or upgrades, and then as you make it through missions, if you're playing through the campaign mode, then you'll be able to improve your heroes as you make your way through that as well. So this new expansion is a big box expansion that's going to add a ton of new material to that as well, all kinds of new cards and all that, on top of really going through and revamping all of the campaigns and really expanding on all of that. So as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow, be able to produce this content. If you want to stay up to date on all my videos, also hit that notification bell, and that'll let you know whenever I drop new stuff, as I'm constantly dropping new teaching videos, playthroughs, unboxings, and all kinds of Kickstarter coverage, among other things. So if you want to get notified whenever I drop those videos, hit that notification bell. Other than that, let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see how this one plays. All right, so getting into this one, this is a short adventure called Saving Sylvana. And with this one, there's going to be some narrative that we're going to go through real quick, and then there's going to be a couple of different tests we'll have to make to see what kind of things are going to happen. So again, like I said, with the new campaign, this is going to really expand all this. I think this one goes from like 2 pages all the way to 8 or 9 pages. So there's a lot more to it in the new Kickstarter. So with this one, let's go ahead and start by reading through the narrative on this one. So we are in Havana in the year 993 BF. Your friend Aldrich has asked you to help him rescue his friend Sylvana, who was abducted by vicious pirates. He shows you some tracks that lead down a ladder into the system of subterranean cellars. As you prepare to head in, Aldrich suddenly remembers that he has another urgent matter to attend to. He says a hasty goodbye before you even make it far enough to kick in the first door. When you burst through the door, you stare into a wrinkled face of a blue-skinned kobold in a bright yellow loincloth, who is talking to a group of goblins. The kobold recovers quickly from the shock of your interruption. He yells at the goblins, "Go get them," and quickly turns himself invisible. The goblins look at each other unsuredly and take flight. Quickly, you try to intercept them. So each hero has to make a body control roll. So with that, let's take a look. We'll go ahead and start with Leoriel. And her body control is a 10, so I'm going to go ahead and roll dice. I'm going to use my own D6 and D20s for my heroes, and then I'll have the regular ones that come in the game for all the enemies. So let's see. With any roll with this game, you do have to roll equal to or under the test value. So a 20 in this is bad. A 1 is excellent, which is going to be hard to get over with my D&D stuff. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so body control, I need a 10 or less here. And I got a 19. So it was almost a critical fail. So you are not fast enough and one of the goblins escapes. Each hero that fails the body control roll takes one cowardly goblin from the henchman cards and places it nearby. He will take part in the next combat as an additional opponent. All right, so right off the bat, this has not gone too well. I have another enemy coming out for this. And then let's see how my dwarf does here and see if he can pass this test. He rolled a 2. So it was the two extremes. He rolled a 2, which was almost a critical success, and she rolled a 19, almost critical fail. So on a success, you catch one of the goblins, but he breaks away from your grasps and runs away up the ladder and onto the street, where he vanishes into the mists of the Undercity. One goblin less for you to fight later. All right, so from there, then you venture into the depths of the dungeon. The racket must have startled the other dissonants because you don't seem to see another soul. You discover abandoned quarters and a row of jail cells that turn out to be empty apart from the crumbling skeleton of an unfortunate former inmate. From here, then, one person is going to make a perception roll and decide as a group who is going to make that roll. All right, so with my dwarf, his perception is a 10, and my elf is a 12. So she's probably the better choice on that. So let's see if she passes this test. And she got a 9. So she does pass. All right, so it's a regular success. So you find a secret tunnel. This will provide you with an advantage over your quarry. At the beginning of the following combat, each hero may draw an additional card. As a reminder, each hero should now draw an action card and place it face down in front of you. All right, so each of our heroes will get that. And then they'll also get 5 more during their turn. All right, so you look everywhere but cannot find any trace of Sylvia or her captors. The only thing that catches your eye is a big mural covering one of the walls. Behind it, you can make out faint noises if there was a secret room. One of you should take a closer look. All right, so then we'll move on to the next thing here. All right, so one hero makes a knowledge roll. Decide as a group who will make that. So who has the better knowledge? So she is an 8 and he is a 10. So let's move over to my dwarf and see if he can pass. It's a 5, so he does pass as well. So let's see what happens there. So after searching for a while, you find a mechanism that opens a secret door. Without wasting any more time, you open the door and storm towards your unsuspecting foes. All right, so from here then, all of a sudden you find yourself in front of a motley band of pirates, orcs, and goblins that slipped past you earlier. They attack you immediately. Among ranks of enemies, you spot the kobold, who laughs at you mockingly and makes your life difficult with his vicious magic spells. You don't know why he is acting in this vile way. All you know is that he is protected by a powerful cobalt magics that block all attacks, and you can't figure out his name. In order to do so, you can either try to make some wild guesses using your knowledge of magical creatures. You can challenge the kobold to a singing contest and trick him into revealing more information, or butter him up with charming words to get him to spill his name. Of course, the other villains won't leave you in peace while you do that. All right, so from here then we move into the combat. And with that, we have to assemble his cards, which I already did. I have his card out, and then we'll choose our difficulty. So I'm going to go ahead and play the normal difficulty in this one. So I will take that card, and that one has 7 time counters on it. So at the end of each round, that will tick down, and there'll be certain events that will trigger from that. And then I have my saving Sylvana out. So with this one, each hero max once per turn can spend one of their endurance cards to take a test. And with that, they can either do a craft to try to sing, do a knowledge roll to take a guess, or persuade roll to charm him. And I'm going to have to place the number of tokens on here based on the number of party members times 3. So there's going to be 6 tokens on this card. So let's go ahead and pull those out now and put those over there. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. And then as far as the threat, it's going to be the number of heroes that are playing times 5. So I'm going to have a threat number of 10. And then we'll also add the cowardly goblins in there that do not count against this. Okay. So I've already created my henchman deck. So at this point now I'm going to reveal henchmen until I get up to that threshold of 10 or higher. Most of the time it's higher, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so our first one is an orc archer. He has 4 points and he is going to have 15 hit points. So I'm going to go ahead and drop some hit points on there for him. All right. Our second enemy is another goblin archer, or orc archer. Another 15 points. The archers are not very fun either. So we'll see how this all goes. Okay, and that's 8 points, so we still need 2 more. And we have a orc highwayman who's also 5 points, so that puts us at 13. So we have met our requirements, so that'll be all that we need to put out there. And he also has 15 hit points, and then we'll also have that goblin that we found. All right. And the goblin has just 5 hit points. So hopefully might be able to take him down. I think the archers are going to be our top priority with this. All right, from here, we're ready to move into our player turns. All right, so each one of our heroes will start off with 5 cards in their hand, plus that bonus card. So let me handle that real quick. And then during this initial draw, heroes can also choose to place cards back in their deck and draw new cards if they get some that they don't want to use yet. All right. These are all actually pretty good. But I think I'll drop these 2 back in for now and hope for some other cards. All right, 2 more. All right. Okay, that's not bad. All right, so she's good. And then my dwarf, let's see what he's got. Okay, I think that will do. All right, so then moving into our player turns, there's a number of things that we're going to handle first that we both simultaneously handle. First off, if any of our cards that have been exhausted, such as our endurance cards or any weapons or anything that we have, those will all be unexhausted. And then we would draw 2 additional cards into our hands. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then from there, we also have to determine our starting hero. So let's see who it is going to be. And it's the dwarf. So he is going to be our starting hero. All right. So from there, then during his turn, he's going to start off. He can choose up to 2 cards in his hands that he can add to his his endurance pile. And that will be his currency that he can use to purchase and get different abilities and such. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that one there. I think I'll do this one. All right, so that gives me 2 endurance right now. And Moving over to the elf real quick to handle her stuff for that. So I think I'll do this one here for her endurance. Let's just move these up and out of the way. Right, and what else do I want? Let's do this one. All right, so that'll give her 2. All right, then we move into the dwarf's turn where he can use his cards and get new cards and all that kind of stuff. So with that, I only have 2 right now, and I definitely want to work on getting his name too. That's really important. The longer we draw this battle out, the worse it's going to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 for that to try to activate that, and my dwarf, his craft is actually the best at 14. So he's going to try to sing a song and see if he can work this. It is a 14. So he does pass, and we do remove one of those tokens. All right. And then I think I'm just going to do a standard attack. So each character does have a basic attack, and his card should be flipped over because each one also has a once per adventure ability. So this one lets me tap this card and spend, or exhaust that card and exhaust one of these to make an attack with his knife. So I'm going to make a melee attack, so I need a 14 or less. And I rolled a 19, so I failed, but I do get a token that I can spend to reroll and do some other things. All right, that's pretty much my turn. So then it's going to move over to my elf ranger. Again, I've got some, well, I can pop this one down. This is a free one. This is a spell, which is not bad. All right, so I think, again, I'm going to go ahead and try to activate that. And her best is, what were the options again? It was crafts, knowledge, and perceive. So that's our persuade. So that's her best one at 10. All right, so if we can get this. It is a 20, so it's a critical fail. All right, so that is not good, and then she also has to randomly discard a card because of that. All right, so hopefully it's not something good. All right, so she's going to lose that. That's a decent spell, but not the best card that she has, so that's good. All right, so she didn't get that, and with that, let me double check. I think it's only once per hero. Guess name. Is it on this card itself? It says every hero max once per turn. Yeah, so I think it's once whether I pass or fail. All right, so that's unfortunate. All right, over to my other thing. I'm going to go ahead and spend that to activate her bow, or she's going to do a throwing knife. This is a ranged attack, so she needs a 12 or less. She got a 10, so she is successful. So then she's going to choose a target. And I guess I'll go after one of the orc archers. It's a D6. And I do 1 point of damage that their armor soaks. So no damage. Wow. All right, so that was a really unsuccessful turn. So now it goes to the enemies. So the leader's going to start us off. And he has 2 actions, because his actions are based on the number of heroes that he's facing. So we have 2. So he's going to roll and see what happens. And he got a 4. So that is a Cobalt Scolding. The hero with the most cards in hand discards one randomly. All right, so that is probably going to be my dwarf. Yep. Losing another card. This is not good. And it's the axe. Oh, no. That's a good one. All right, and his second roll is an 11. So that is 10 to 12 is healing spell. Heals all of his fellow warriors by 5. I haven't done any damage, so that was ineffective. All right, so then we're over to the archers. So the first one has one action, and it's a 10. So 10 to 12 is a ranged attack on the starting hero. And he suffers 1d6 plus 2. Now he does have a dodge of 5. So if I get a 5 or less, it's an 18. Nope. Hit him like a brick. All right. And it's going to do 1d6 plus 2. So it does 1 plus 2 for 3 damage to him. All right. So then he's down to 37 hit points. Okay. That was my first archer. The second archer is a 2. Man, these guys are dead shots here. All right, so it's a range attack. The hero with the most wounds suffers 1d6 plus 5. All right, so again, my dodge. It's a 3. He dodges out of the way. I guess the pain from the last one got him to get out of the way in time. All right, so that is it for the archers. Then we're over to the highwaymen. And it's an 11. So that's an attack. A hero chosen by the group suffers 1d6 plus 2. So I'm going to go after her. She has a little better dodge at 6. And it's a 4. So she gets out of the way. So no damage there. And then finally the goblin. He got a natural 1. Good Lord. That's a critical. So it's an attack. The starting hero suffers 1d6 plus 1. So my dodge. It's a 15, so he didn't see the goblin coming. And he's going to take 3 plus 1, so 4 damage. All right, so I'm down to 33. Unfortunately, my characters do not have any armor yet either. I have to buy that still. All right, so that is the end of the enemy's turn. It was a lot more successful than mine. Then we will remove a counter, and there's no effects yet. It'll be the 5th counter when we will have an effect. All right, so then it goes back, or at the end of the turn, this passes to the other hero. So now that hero will be the starting hero. And then we go back into the hero's turn. So each one of them gets to draw 2. They get to unexhaust all of their stuff. All right. And then they can spend cards to add to their endurance. Okay. So I think I'll spend those 2 that I just picked up. So that gives her 4. And with the dwarf, what do I got? And I got good cards. All right, so I'll definitely do that one. That one's not so bad. I guess I'll do the wooden shield. Sacrifice a little bit of defense for this. All right, so it's going to be the archer first. So what does she want to do here? All right, I got 4 to work with now. I do have a really nice elven bow. but I can't use that yet. It's going to cost me 5 to do that. So I guess let's drop reconnaissance first. That's going to cost me 1. And spend another 1 to try and persuade him. Oh, not that die. It's a 12, so that fails. So this is not going well. And then what else do I want to do here? At this point, I'm going to, let's try that basic attack again. So I need a 12 or less. And it's a 19. Well, my dice are just not doing me any favors right now. So I do get one of those. And this one costs 1 as well. So I gotta turn the rest of those. So this one's a magic attack on a 9 or less. And it's a 15, so that fails as well. Now I could spend one of those to re-roll that, but I think I'm just going to hold off there. All right, so hopefully she's going to pick up here in a little bit, because right now she has been completely useless. All right, over to my dwarf. Let's see what we can do here. Let's start off by spending 2 to increase my melee attack ability. So this is going to improve my hero's melee attacks by 2. So now he needs a 16 or less when he attacks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to activate that to sing another song. And I got it. So his singing is definitely working. All right, and that leaves me with 1 left. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that and try to throw a dagger. So I need a 16 or less. And it's an 8. So it is successful. I'm going to go after one of the archers. And it's a 5 minus 1, so 4 damage. All right, so at least I got a little bit of something here. All right, that is the end of my hero's turns. Moving into the enemy's turns, let's go ahead and start off with the Cobalt again. So first is a 7. He is rolling really low. So hero with the most cards has to discard a card. Not again. So it's going to be the dwarf again, and if I lose this Warhammer, I'm going to be really upset. It's an axe. Damn. 2 melee weapons. That's really going to hurt. All right, and then the other, it's a 15. All right, the 15 is evil laughter, so no effect. I guess he felt bad after making me drop 2 weapons already. Over to the orc archer is a 3. Man. Hero with the most wounds suffers 1d6 plus 5. He's taken the most so far, so dodge. 15, so he is going to take it. And it is 1d6 plus 5. 3. So it's going to be 8 wounds. So he's at 33, so that's going to drop him down to 25. Second archer is a 17, so nothing. And then the highwayman is a 9. A 9 is going to attack a hero chosen by the group. So I'm going to take it on the archer. She just misses. So she is taking it, and it's 1d6 plus 2. And that's 8. So she's down to 32. Okay. And then finally the goblin. And he is a deadeye. Good lord, I got to get rid of him. That's another d6 plus 1 onto the starting hero, so it's hers. 8 or less. Nope, 13. 3, 4 damage. All right, so that drops her down to 28. All right. Then we take this off. So next turn we'll have an effect. And back into our hero turns, and this is passing over. All right, so each of us will draw 2. And our cards will refresh. All right, and then we choose if we want to drop any for endurance. Dwarf first. Yeah, let's do these 2. And the archer. Do that. Unfortunately, the rest of these cards are pretty good. So I think I'll stay there with that. All right. So my dwarf's going to start us off. He's at 25. Taking some damage. All right, so, well, let's start off by doing the song. So I need a 14 or less. It's a 6, so that song's been effective. All right, and then let's go ahead and buy some daggers. So that's 1. I don't have enough for the Warhammer yet. I still have 4. So spend 3 to do the King's Document. So this is a single use, and the player of your choice draws 3 cards. I think I'm going to take that for myself. Lots of armor. All right, and then I have 1 action left. So I'm going to go ahead and do the melee. So I'm going to turn that and that. And it's a 16. It's a 19. I'm going to go ahead and pop it. On a 6. Okay, so that was successful. I'm going to hit that archer I've been working on for nothing. God. All right, that's it for me. Over to my archer. All right, let's go ahead and try the persuade. She's got to get one of these, just not yet. All right. Let's go ahead and drop this one down. This one lets me heal wounds. I'm going to go ahead and what to do. Well, let's try to fire the, or throw the throwing knife. So I need a 12 or less. 18. Nope. Let's do this one. I need a 9 or less. And I got a 9. All right, so that's a 1d6. I'm going to target the archer. It's a 4, so 3 damage. So I'm slowly eating my way at him. I'm going to go ahead and do this one to jump her back up to 30. And I got 1 thing left. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that one, I guess, and spend that to draw a card. Okay. And that is everything. Over to the enemies. So let's go ahead and go with the Cobalt first. It's a 9. So it's a heat weapon. Here with the most of those must select one of their weapons in play and put it back into their hand or loses 2d6 wounds. If they have no weapons in play, nothing happens. I have no weapons in play because that's a spell. All right, well, that worked out. It's a 16, so nothing happens. Evil laughter. All right, over to the archers. First one is an 18. Flight. If all leaders have been defeated, remove this card from combat, otherwise nothing happens. All right, other archer is a 16. So he looks around for a new target, so no effect there. The highwayman is a 15. Nothing, shouts an orc curse, and the goblin. And the goblin rolls a 17. Flight, remove this card from the game. Do not shuffle it back into the henchman discard pile or draw pile. So he ran away. Finally caught a break. All right, so drawing new cards. Unexhaust everything. This passes over to her. And then endurance. Let's do that one. We'll do that. All right, and then the archer. Do that one. Oh, I forgot to do the end around stuff. All right, so that's going to take that off, which means that I have to draw a new enemy. So we have an orc warrior. So the goblin ran away, and I got an even worse customer here. Okay. And then I took care of the rest. All right, so I got one more card from her if I'm able to, or if I want to. Man, the rest of these are pretty good. But I guess let's do that one. All right. So then we're into the hero's actions. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's spend 1 and just try to persuade him again. 11. I'm getting closer. it's so close. All right. Well, let's go ahead and spend 3 to improve her archery skills. So that's going to bump her up to a 15 or less. I really want to buy that bow, but I think the upgraded skill is probably more important at this point. All right. Then I still have 3 actions remaining. So let's try the magic. So this one, I need a 9 or less. A 20. So now I'm going to lose a good card. It's the bow. Of course it is. The 2 best weapons I think my characters have, and I've lost both of them. Okay. Let's try her throwing knife. What could go wrong? A 2. So we'll go after the archer there. A 4, so 3 more damage. So I've got him down to 5. Okay. And didn't spend one of those yet. So I got one card left. So I guess I'll spend it to heal my dwarf by 2. Because we're going to need the hit points, I guess. All right. So over to my dwarf. Let's keep going with the persuasion or the song. It's a 4, so he's just singing away. All right, what else do I got here? I think I need to buy the hammer at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which leaves me with 1 point left. But if I don't get that out, I think that'll probably be another drop card, and I might as well attack with it. All right, so it's going to be a -2 to my attack, which brings me back down to a 14. It's a 17. My other player is going to play one of her tokens to let me reroll this, though. A 5. All right, so it is a hit. This one is going to do 2d6 plus 3. All right, so first d6. Who am I targeting? 2d6 plus 3. I think I'm going to work on this guy. So it's 5, 3, so 8 plus 3 more for 11. And then he takes 3 away from that, so it's back down to 8. So that'll take care of that. All right, and I am out of cards. So that is it for me. All right, so it's going to kick over to the enemies. So starting with the Cobalt, it's a 13. So nothing, he's got his evil laughter going on. And an 8, which is the heated weapon. So it's still her, and she still does not have a weapon out. So no effect there. All right, over to the Archer. It's a 2. So he is going to target the hero with the most wounds. So it's going to be the dwarf. All right, so my dodge is an 11, so I do get hit. And I am taking 2 plus 5, so 7 damage. So that's down to 20. All right, second Archer is an 11. So starting hero suffers 1d6 plus 2. So it's going to be her. She's got an 8. She does not dodge. So 5, so 7 on her. So she's down to 23. Over to the Highwayman is an 11. So he is going to dish out chosen hero is going to suffer 1d6 plus 2. So she's going to try to dodge. It's a 20. So 1 plus 2. All right, so she's down to 20 hit points. And over to the Warrior is a 2. The starting hero, so it's going to be her. She needs a dodge. Come on. Nope. So he's going to do 1d6 plus 6. I knew it. 12. So she's down to 8. So we'll just do like that. She's got 8 hit points left. Okay. Back to us. So, well, first we have to take this way. So nothing happens there. This passes over to my dwarf, and then everybody refreshes. All right, and then we draw 2 cards. And then endurance. Yep, definitely. Yeah. That'll give me 2 more on him. And over to her. do that one. Let's do that one. All right, so moving into my dwarf's turn, we gotta hopefully do something here. Let's go ahead and spend the first one to sing. It's an 8, so he's singing some songs. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get some. Let's get a helmet. Gives him a little bit of defense. All right, and I got 6 left still. So let's try the Warhammer. So I need a 14. It's a 16. She is going to pop another token for him. It's 2 16s from him, I think. 15. So the question is, does she pop it again? Yeah, I think so. Let's try one more time. It's a 6. So I finally got it. All right. I'm going to try the Highwayman again. So 6 plus 1, so 7 damage. So that will defeat him. Okay. So he's out of there. That's good. All right, leaves me a 5. Let's do the basic knife. So that's going to be a 16. 7 is a hit, and it does 1d6, and I'm going to target the archer for nothing. Okay, let's try the throwing daggers. I'm going to upgrade for 2 as well. It's going to give him a 12 for archery. It's a 2, so it is a hit. Let's try that archer again. And a 2 plus 1, so just 2 damage. All right, so 3 damage on him left. All right. Okay. So I got 1 card left, and there's not much I can do with that right now. All right. Over to my archer, who's got 8 hit points. Let's bring out the spear thrower, so that's 3 points. Okay. And let's try to persuade. Come on, just one time. An 8. She finally got it. We wore him down with the song, and we were finally able to get it. All right, so that's going to reveal him. And now I can actually wound him, and he's going to have 6 hit points. So getting him out of here would be great. All right, and she's got 5 endurance left. So let's go ahead and start with some knives. So I'm going to chuck some knives at him. I need a 15 or less. A 17. Okay. Let's do the spell. That's 9 or less. 5, so that is a hit. Then he rolls a dodge. He dodges on 8 or less. A 7. So he got out of the way. Let's try the spear thrower. So this one is a 15 or less. An 18. Pop the token to reroll. It's a 9, so it is going to hit. 13, it does get through, so it's going to do 1d6 plus 3. It's 5 damage, and he has no armor, so he takes 5. You got 1 hit point left. Ah, so close. I don't think I got anything left. I can heal for 2. Brings me up to 10. And I can spend to draw a card. All right. That's all I can do. All right, so it kicks it over to the enemies. So he's going next, or first. It's a 5. Scolding the hero with the most cards in hand discards 1, which is going to be her. All right. Okay. That was his first. His second action is an 11. Heals all his fellow warriors by 5. So it's just the archer. Okay, so then over to the archer to go. It's a 4. Attack the hero with the most wounds, which is going to be her. And she dodges on an 8, or 6. She got a 5, so she got out of the way. Over to the other archer. It's a 19, so he is bolting. No, he had no. That guy hasn't been defeated yet. The warrior is a 5, chosen by the group. So I'm going to go ahead and take it on him. It's 1d6 plus 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. I am going to go ahead and tap that to stop 3. So I'm going to take 6. So I'm down to 14. All right, and then this goes away, and that is the third one, so that is going to trigger a new enemy to come out. So a new highwayman. He also has 15. Okay, so it's back to us. So 2 new cards. This gets passed. Everything gets untapped or exhausted. Okay, and then the question is, do I want to add any for endurance? I think I'm good for her and the dwarf. Is there anything I want to add for him? Yeah, go ahead and add that. All right. All right, so she's starting us off. So I really need to get rid of him. Let's start off with a spell. So I need to spend 1 on a 9 or less. Or actually, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my lore. I have to spend 3 for that. So now I'm at a 12. Didn't matter. That was 16. All right. Let's try her throwing knife next. That one I need a 15 or less. It's a 9, so that is a hit. Then it's on him. He rolls a 20, so that's an auto fail. And over to me. It's 3 more damage, so he is gone. All right, so leader has been defeated. So now enemies have a shot at running away. All right, so then let's go ahead and do 1 onto the throwing spear. It's a hit, and it's 1d6 plus 3, so I'm going to go ahead and target the orc there, archer. It's a 6 plus 3 is 9. He stops 1. 8 goes through, which is enough to defeat him. All right, so he is gone. And I got 3 cards left. Spend 1 to draw a card. Okay, that's magic. Spend 1 to heal. Put her up 2. Puts her up to 12. And I have 1 left. All right, so that'll pass it over to the dwarf. Do I have anything I want to buy at the moment? All right, I do have some pretty good defense. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that to buy chainmail leggings. And I still have a good amount. Okay. So let's start off with a knife. So I need a 16 or less. A 20. So it's an epic fail, and I lose my chainmail. Let's try the daggers. That is a 12 or less. It's 14, so it's another fail. And let's try the warhammer on a 14. An 8. So that worked. And we'll go after the highwayman. So that's 2 plus 6, 8. So it's another 8 damage. Because he's got 3 defense. Alright. And I still have a fair amount of points that I don't have anything to do with right now. Alright. So that is the end of our turns. So now it's going to kick over to the enemies. So we have the archer, a 19. So he is booking. That's 1 less enemy. Good. Then we have the highwayman. It's a 13. 13 shouts an orc curse. And then finally the warrior is a 20. So he is running away. I got really lucky there. All right. And that's going to drop 1 more. Okay. So nothing happens this turn. Then this gets passed over, and we just have the 1 guy left. All right, so 2 cards. That gets refreshed. All right, do I want to spend anything? No, I think I'm good. I'm gonna hold on to that stuff. And with the dwarf, drop that in there. Okay. Let me refresh this stuff. Did I move it over? Yeah, he finished it up last time. So yeah, he should be the one starting this time. All right, so I am going to spend 3 to bring out the shields. Give me a little bit more defense just in case. And then let's go ahead and start this ruckus up. So let's jump right to the Warhammer. It's a 3, so it is a hit. And he's going to do 5 plus 1. So it's basically going to do 6. Okay. Let's go ahead and try some throwing daggers. And I need 12 or less. It's a 14. I'm going to spend 1 to reroll. 17. Let's try it again. It's 12. Yes, that is a hit. All right, so it's a 1d6 plus 1. It's a 5 minus 3, so 2 left over. That will defeat him. All right. Victory! All right, so we're on to the adventure to find out what happens. So after a victory, your opponents try to stand up to you, but they are no match for your combat prowess and determination. You manage to play some tricks on the kobold to find out his name and give him a sound beating. A few moments later, you are victorious and your enemies have fled or lie dead at your feet. From the pirate hideout, you hear a fearful cry. There you find Sylvana, deeply frightened but otherwise unharmed. You explain that you have come to help her, and she gives each of you a thankful hug. You feel like real heroes, unlike Eldrick, who ran away at the beginning. So you have overcome the adventure. Each hero receives 1 experience point, and then you read the victory at the end of the adventure procedure on page 15, so on and so on. So at this point, we would each get experience points that we can use then to expand or grow our heroes in certain ways, giving us little perks here and there, or being able to kind of manipulate and tailor our deck as well. And then we could potentially move on to the next adventure. So I hope you found the video helpful in learning about this. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this one, and if you'd like to see anything else around this, or if you're excited about the Kickstarter. This is the first time I've played this game. I'd never even heard of it before, and had a good time with it. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you caught if I did anything wrong, I do my best, but let me know if there's anything that you noticed as well. And until next time, I'll see you later.